Thank you guys for coming this morning. My name is Erin and I'll be guiding you through your class. So remember that at any time you're welcome to rest, drink your water, make the practice your own. Everybody here is laying down, mostly, so we can begin that way. If you prefer to find some other place to begin, maybe in a comfortable seat, then you're welcome to start there as well, whatever makes you feel best today. If you are deciding to sit, you can sit back on your heels, on a block, or with your legs folded in front. I think that's how I'll begin today. Once you've made your way into wherever you'd like to be here, you'll let your eyes start to float closed. And start to breathe. Noticing length through your spine. Relaxing your forehead, relaxing your jaw, and then allowing that sense of ease to move across the neck and shoulders, across your heart space, down into your belly. The feeling of ease starts to spread down through the hips and the legs, down both limbs until you start to feel completely at ease here. Inhaling through your nose to fill your belly, and simply let go. Keeping your attention on the breath, on any sensations in the body. Simply noticing where the mind goes. And then redirecting your attention to the breath if you start to kind of fall out of it and wander off. Take a few more gentle breaths in and out, helping you to start to find your center and ground. One more this way. We'll start to invite power on the exhales next time. Still take a big breath into the belly, same way. When you exhale now, we'll squeeze pelvic floor gently up and start to draw the lower belly in. It's a gentle effort. Inhale, relax, get big. As you exhale, you contract, hug everything in and up. Big inhale, belly expands, side ribs open up, maybe moving up towards the upper ribs. As you exhale, pelvic floor engages and lower belly starts to draw inward. As we continue to work with this belly bonfire breath, we're just noticing how the pelvic floor lifting and lower belly starting to draw inward is changing things for you. Maybe you're starting to feel a little stronger. Maybe your spine's starting to feel a little longer. Every inhale, we have the opportunity to relax. And on the exhale, we direct all of that oxygen to the deep belly to fuel our internal fires. We'll get 4 more here. Last 3. Two to go. Last one here. Exhaling, dragging the pelvic floor up, lower belly draws in slightly. Pause for a moment. And then start to breathe in and out through your nose, maybe a bit more naturally. Just bringing your awareness back to the state of mind, into your heart center, and just noticing if you've already started to feel a bit more grounded and relaxed, just from that simple breathing practice. That's something you can do at any time of the day. We'll start to move just slightly here, maybe rocking the head a little side to side. Eyes stay closed. You might start to wiggle the fingers and the toes a little bit, and just starting to wake up gently. And then we'll take our right hand and place it over the heart. Left hand places over on top, coming back to stillness. Feeling the hands pressing against the heart, healing energy from hands going into the body. We'll begin our practice by uniting our voices here and with the sound of Om. We'll take one breath to prepare. Big inhale. And exhale. And we'll inhale for Om. Have the best practice ever, everybody. We'll start our warm-up in a seated position today. So you'll gently start to open up your eyes and make your way into seated. Take your time about it, no rush. If you're already there with me, you can just start to come back to those long, slow breaths, sitting up nice and tall, finding that center if it's started to wander off. And taking just a moment here, waiting for everybody else to join in. And we'll begin with the hands on the knees. You're welcome to sit back on the heels or with legs folded in front. Either way will work. Take an inhale, just draw the shoulders down, start to stretch out nice and tall and proud. And as you exhale, we'll curl and rock back. Stay here for a moment and just rock your head gently from one side to the other, just gently warming up the neck. So we're continuing to breathe in and out, but there's a slight rounding in the spine here. And holding on to the knees, so we're finding a little traction for the shoulders. And as your head moves from side to side, holding the knees will make it a little bit more intense. And we'll just get one more like this, starting off very gently in our practice this morning. Reminding ourselves to always take gentle care. Good. Let's come back to center, chin into chest. Inhale, we'll come to seated cow, sliding forward and up. And as you exhale again, we'll curl and rock it back. Inhale, slide your way forward and up. Exhaling, curling and rocking back. We'll get 3 more here. And if you're elevated on a block and over time you have the desire to come off, please allow yourself to do so. Really feeling what's going on internally in yourselves here, not worrying about necessarily where I am or your neighbor is, but really feeling how this is showing up for you. We'll get one more like this, and then come rock back, pause, and we'll start to spin around. As you inhale, come towards the right knee to the front, left, back, and around. So now we're inviting a little bit of that cow and cat into these spirals. As I'm starting to feel looser in my hips and my lower back, I've decided to come off my block. We'll go one more time in this direction, and we'll just start to go the other way. And let your head roll around, shoulders roll around. No right or wrong way, just starting to really loosen up wherever we can access here. And we'll just get one more in this direction. Good. Coming back to center, we'll sweep both arms all the way up. As you exhale, a little spin to the right, open arms front to back, maybe taking one hand behind, opposite hand to knee. Inhale, sweep up, reach up even taller this time. Exhale, spin to the other side. We'll go again side to side, just following your own breath here. One more time to left. Next time we come to the right, we will pause there. Left hand comes to your knee, right hand tense behind you on the ground. Inhale, lift up a little bit, shoulders down. Exhale, maybe subtly twisting more or just softening. You can look down for your back hand. That might feel lovely for your neck. Let's inhale up through center. Exhale, reach arms open and wide as you twist to the other side. Inhale, maybe sitting up a little taller. Exhale, possibly dropping shoulders away from ears or twisting a bit more. Big breath here. And one more. Good, let's inhale all the way up through center. Exhale, hands draw down through heart center, belly draws in and up. Every time the hands come down, let's try to lift the pelvic floor and low belly so that energy meets at the center. Let's come on to hands and knees here. We'll continue a little bit more. We're going to take our toes to curl under today. Hands are maybe a bit forward of shoulders to back off wrists. These are some core cat-cows. Let's inhale, bend the elbows, start to arch back like you're about to pounce, like a little kitty wagging its tail, getting ready. And then as you exhale, we'll curl up into that cat. Inhale, come back like you're getting ready to pounce. Exhale, lift the belly and curl. You might continue this way, or maybe on the next time you curl, you'll lift the knees and start to fire up the belly. Slowly drop the knees as you arch back. Take your time. Exhale, big curl. Let's get 3 more. So as you lower and arch back, you got to go slow. We don't want to just drop down really quickly there. Take your time. One more this way. Arching up into that core cat. And from here, we'll start to just lengthen out the spine a bit more naturally. Shifting the weight a bit forward and back and just playing around here, warming up the back of the feet. My quads are starting to warm a little bit here, feeling the hamstrings working, lower belly working, pelvic floor working all together. Let's start to press the hips back more, really lengthening arms and spine. Let your head become an extension of the spine. And then we'll begin to lift up towards downward facing dog, but we'll continue to keep the knees a little bent as we bend one more than the other and walk things out. Every time you're on your hands, you want to really activate hands to the floor. So you grip your fingers into the ground, pressing the full perimeter of the hand down, and maybe the very center pops up just slightly. After a few moments, we'll begin to still this dog. Keeping both knees bent and really pressing back, we're going to add a little side bend in here by dropping the heels over towards the right side. Knees are going to spin a little bit to the left. Press back here and you should feel a nice opening all through the left side. Big breath. As you inhale, spin your way back to center, knees bent. Exhale, drop the heels opposite direction. So now the knees are facing over towards the right. Big breath in and out. Good, let's come back to center. Practice my very favorite waved plank. Take an inhale, knees bend a bit more. Exhale, curl and roll into your high, strong plank. Inhale, bend your knees and glide back. Elbows bend too. Exhale, roll your way forward. So as you inhale and glide back, picture that wave pulling out to the ocean, and as you roll forward, picture it rolling to the shore. Moving your body just like that beautiful ocean water here. We'll get 2 more. Gliding back, rolling forward. Last time, glide back. Roll forward. Pause in this plank. Squeeze your glutes. Press the floor away. As you exhale, we'll drop knees, thighs, whole body slowly down to earth. Tuck your chin as you inhale, lift up into cobra. A little bit higher cobra there. Squeeze elbows in. Exhale, roll your way down. We'll do it twice again. Inhale, tuck chin, shoulders roll back, lift. Exhale, slowly roll down. One last roll for the upper body. Let's lift and roll down. Beautiful. This time we'll lift up, pause. Maintain your cobra for a breath. Really pressing the feet down, squeezing hands down. One more breath in. As you exhale, you press up strongly into a modified push-up position. Curl the toes and press back into downward facing dog.
One more breath in. And let it go. Coming to the top of the mat, let's bend the knees, look forward, inhale. Exhale, walk your feet up towards the hands. We'll find our half lift from here. Feet should be about hips width apart or so. Inhale, hands to shins. Feel that roll to get you there. Exhale, fold it down. Let's try again. As we inhale to half lift, we squeeze pelvic floor and low belly. We feel our strength. And on the exhale, we bend and get floppy and surrender. One more time. So inhale strongly. Sometimes we need to be the ones that are strong. But other times, let's exhale and fold. We get to just surrender. Let someone else take care of it. Go soft. Reminding yourself here as you get soft and swaying in your fold that it's okay to back off. It's okay to surrender. Last 2 breaths here. One more. Let's rise to extended mountain on the next inhale. Press to both feet. Arms sweep up. Feel the energy rise up through the center of your body, all the way up through the heart. Offer it up to the sky. Taking that energy from the sun through your arms, it radiates down through the body, squeezing it in and up through the belly. One more breath in. And as you exhale, hands come to heart. I can always picture myself on a mountain just taking in the fresh in there whenever I do that. Let's come into a flow together. Inhale, arms sweep up tall. Exhale, bend your knees, hinge down nice and slowly. Inhale, back to your strong half lift. As we exhale, let's find down dog. Hands plant, walk or take a little jog back there. Let's try to wave the plank again. Inhale, knees bend. Exhale, roll your way there. We'll inhale in our plank. Exhale either to the floor or a modified chaturanga. Knees drop, hover here, elbows squeeze in, belly super strong. Inhale either to cobra or up dog, which lifts the thighs. Exhale, take it up and back through to downward facing dog. Take a breath in and out. Let's take our right leg to the sky on the next inhale. Kick it up nice and high in your 3-leg down dog. I like to come up and down onto the toes of the left foot a few times. You can play with that if it feels nice for you. On your next inhale, maybe come onto the toes and kick your right leg up slightly higher. Exhale, knee right down the middle into the chest, curl and lift. Let's inhale the leg up to sky. Exhale, head over to same side elbow, shift forward towards plank. Inhale it on up. Exhale, let's twist it to the opposite side, keep it high. Inhale, back to sky. Exhale, knee to nose, pause, step to your right thumb. Before you lift up here, make sure your feet are hips width apart. We'll be coming into a high lunge or crescent lunge. Lift up strongly here. Once the arms reach up, shoulders soften down. Give yourself some time to feel stable. Your front knee should be just over the ankle. Feel free to take a shorter stance if you feel a little unstable here. Let's take the arms forward as we start to move through the spine and throw our balance off a little bit. Let's inhale, open up. Maybe gaze lift slightly. Exhale, back knee tucks and you give yourself a hug. Inhale, opening up. And exhale, waving forward. So I always picture myself in the ocean here. I'm really excited to have the ocean, right, today. I might be going to the Cape next week, I don't know. Let's get 2 more, opening up and curling, 1 more. Gorgeous. Let's take those arms back up in all their glory. Shoulders draw a little away, back knee might bend. We're not a side bend here, so we'll take the right hand to the hip. Inhale, lift up a little more energetically through the left side, and then as you exhale, you'll reach up and over to the right. You don't want to crunch too much into that side, so take it gently. Make sure your your right shoulder, left shoulder is not up by the ear. Left shoulder draws down just a bit. On your next in-breath, we'll reach up tall just with that one arm. Exhale, reach it long and forward. So we're going to hold this hover just for a moment. Coming into a variation of twist, let's take the left elbow to the right knee. Keep looking straight down for your foot. And then maybe place the palm of the right hand on top. So if you are looking down here, we'll ensure we're not twisting the low back. We're trying to twist more into the shoulders and the chest. If this isn't happening, doesn't feel good for you, you could always drop your hand down to the floor instead and find runner's lunge twist, whichever works for you. On your next breath in, let's sweep back up towards our crescent lunge. Inhale. Exhale, drop your back heel, and now we're in our warrior two. As you inhale, arms come up, legs straightens out. Exhale, bend elbows, press through cement back to warrior two. Inhale, reach up tall. Exhale, bend elbows, push, bend right knee. Last two. Maybe using that strong exhale. We'll come up for one last one, and then this time we'll hold warrior two. Palms can face the side. Sometimes if I face them up, it helps me relax the shoulders down a bit. So you could switch them to face up and see if that does anything for you. Then you can turn them back to face the side. Last breath in. Keep staying strong in the legs. Flip your palm. Inhale, sweep up. Exhale, let's cartwheel back down to the floor. Step your way back to downward facing dog. We'll check in here, noticing if you've noticed anything different between the right and the left sides. One more round here. And then let's try the left side. So left leg sweeps up nice and high, maybe coming up and down onto the toes of the right foot a few times. Pressing actively with your hands. Next, inhale up on toes, leg kicks up super high. Exhale, knee right down the middle into the chest. Inhale, sweep it super duper high. Exhale to left elbow, shoulder, wherever it can get to. Inhale, sweep up. Exhale, use low belly to lift the knee in and up, and then twist to the opposite side. Inhale, back up. Exhale, knee to nose, pause. Step to your thumb. Let's come back to our crescent lunge. Come on up slowly. Arms lift to begin with. If you need to rearrange your feet so that you'll be stable, please do. Arms reach forward. Inhale, open up, gaze might lift. Exhale, curl. 4 more. Maybe coming back to belly bonfire. Pelvic floor lifts in and up on those curls. Beautiful. 2 more. Last one. What an ocean of breath we have here today for our flowy little crescents. Let's come back up here and pause. Front spine active, lower back protected. 1 more breath. Getting ready for our side bend. We will take our left hand down to hip. Inhale, lengthen through the right. Exhale, reach up and over. Trying not to crunch the ear. 2 more. 1 more. Good. Inhale, back to the sky just with the one hand. Exhale, reach forward, long spine, trying not to collapse. Right elbow comes to left knee, gaze stays down for foot. Maybe placing the left hand on top, twisting just through mid-spine, chest. Maybe shoulders, lower spine stays as is. And again, if you prefer your runner's twist, feel free to take your right hand down to the floor. On your next inhale, we'll sweep back up to crescent. Back knee might move a bit. And then we'll drop the back heel, open it on up, warrior two. Same thing on this side, we'll come in and out. Inhale, reach up tall, belly in. Exhale, push. A few more.
Really pretend there's a resistance as you flex your wrists and press with the palms. Last few. One more. Let's come all the way up again and then stay. Maybe flip palms up to help relax the shoulders. Perhaps you're bringing more awareness into the outer edge of the right foot. So there's something that we are doing here, even if it's just something nobody else can see or know about. There's always tiny little adjustments happening. Last breath here. Let's flip the hand. Inhale, sweep up. Exhale, cartwheel down. Step your way. Downward facing dog. Big breath in. And out. Bend your knees. Inhale, look forward. Exhale, wave plank. Stay in plank. You're welcome to drop your knees if you need to here. We're going to move into a little bit of some action. Shall I call them what they are? They're Diablo planks. It's all good though. Let's take the heels to one side. I don't always want to say it because then it might psych you out, right? So we'll get a little tongue-tied every now and then over that one. So as you lift through center, lower belly lifts you in and up. So there's a little bit of that curl, like a little bit of a rounding there. And we lift up and over. And we keep everything strong and working together. And we've got just one more on each side here. Same thing can happen with knees down. It's just more of a hip shift. Last one. And then we'll come back to the middle, pause, and press it on back, downward facing dog again. Deep breath. And let it out. We'll take a quick detour here. Drop the knees to the ground. Big toes touch. Press back towards your child's pose. I tend to like to wiggle waggle myself down and get a little more comfortable in between the legs. So feel free to do whatever works for you there. Let your head rest on something. If it doesn't reach the floor, you can bring a block under or even your hands underneath for a moment. I'm just going to take a few here. Maybe checking back in, noticing any changes that are happening for you. And just two more here. You're always welcome to come back to child's pose anytime you need to, or any other pose that brings you peace. We're going to start to make our way back up to come back to some standing poses here. So we'll come back up onto hands and knees. Curl your toes under. We're going to make our way up through those core cat-cows. We'll inhale, arch, drop the elbows, look forward. Set your eyes on your prize. Exhale, curl and left. Try two more. Drop the knees, arch back. Exhale. Firm belly lift. Let's try one more time. As you exhale, squeeze pelvic floor in and up. Pause. Then start to lengthen spine. Press back into your downward facing dog. We're coming to the top of the mat here. Inhale, look forward, knees bend. Exhale, walk or try a little hop forward if you're feeling up to it today. We'll inhale halfway. Exhale, soften and fold. So we're going to stay here just for 2 breaths. We'll come back for a longer fold in a moment. One more. Beautiful. Let's sweep all the way up. Rise, press to the feet, lift up. Pause an extended mountain. Feel glorious. When your exhale is ready, we take hands to the heart. We're coming into a chair pose. Let's take the feet hips width apart here. We'll begin by taking the arms up overhead. When the arms are up, shoulders still draw down. Exhale, sit hips back. I tend to take the arms back first and then reach forward. That helps me get the hips into my happy place. We're going to add a little twist here, a gentle one. So let's take the left arm across your legs. Create a little table here and even press your thigh into your fingers. Then take your right hand onto the hip and just start to twist over to the right. This might be plenty. Some days I like to reach my arm up, but only if it makes me feel happier.
We're trying to keep the knees in line with each other, so you might take a little peek down at them. For another 2. One more, you guys are great. Let's come up through center on the inhale. Rise up in all your glory. Exhale, sit back to chair. Get ready, hips back, pelvic floor in and up. Create your table, other side, so right hand goes across. Push your leg into your fingers. Take your left hand to the hip as you start to spin. We're trying to keep hips lower than heart, so if you're more here, tipped forward, just do your best to take the hips down a little lower than the heart there. Last 2. It's not easy stuff, you guys make it look easy. Let's come all the way up and out. And exhale, fold. Let's find Ragdoll this time. Bend your knees a lot as you make your descent. Grab a hold of opposite elbows if it feels good. And just allowing that extra weight of the arms start to open up the muscles of the upper back, shoulders. You can sway or find stillness. We'll come back to really focusing on breath for a few moments. As you inhale, fill your belly and try to make your way all the way up towards the shoulders. And let it go. We'll be here for 3 more. Two. And 1. Let's release our grip here. Inhale halfway. You use that strong center. And exhale, softly fold. We'll rise up next time. Inhale, sweep up through the center. Press away from the floor. Sweep arms up, take in the energy. And exhale, we draw it to the heart. We're going to come into some standing balance. So if you're not all the way at your top of the mat, take a little walk for me. Bring yourself up there. We're going to start off in a mountain pose, feet hips width, a little wider. Palms face forward, shoulders actively draw down. Pelvic floor is ready for you, keeping you nice and strong. We're going to begin here by standing on the right leg. Let's take the arms up to the sky. As you exhale and draw hands to heart, we're going to use the low belly to lift the left leg up, my other left leg up. There we go. Continue to press to your palms, stay right here. We're going to transition to hold on to the shin. Take your right hand onto your hip. Squeeze it up a little higher, as tall as you can be. And then we'll open it out to the side. And it might feel easier to reach your hand out to the side now. So you have those 2 opposing energies. One is pushing you out to the right, other reaching out to the left. Some of you, I don't know if it's me today, might be able to grab your big toe with your first 2 fingers and kick it out. Oh, I managed it for a moment. That's good enough for me. I'll take one more breath here. Good, let's bring the knee or the foot back forward. Hands will reach up tall. Kick your foot forward, pause. Then we'll fly to airplane. Bend your knee, bend standing leg, and start to open and expand in all directions. So we're so proud in flight here, heart open, gaze is forward, tiny element of back bend going on here, back toes super happy about practice today, wide open. Let's land slowly in crescent, arms reach up, and we'll go back to warrior 2, drop the heel. We'll come out for a moment, pick up the right toes, pivot on your heel, so you're in your 5-pointed star. We're going to make our way into some side lunges from here. So we'll take both toes out. Before we get into them, we'll come to goddess. So just sit on down. I always tend to take my fingers to the inner thighs first. Use that to help me spread a little bit out of the hips, move a bit side to side. Find your center. We'll take just another moment there. Good. All right, let's come to the center and get ready for our side lunges, hands to prayer. Let's sweep all the way up on the inhale, and as you exhale, bend your right knee, come on down. Inhale, sweep up. Exhale, other side. So I tend to take my prayer hands right down through the center. If there's something that feels a little better for you, go ahead and add that in. We'll continue to go side to side a few times there. I'm going to come back over here. Keep going at your own pace for another 2 on each side. Last round. Last one. After you've finished up on the left, come all the way back up. Hands come to prayer. We're coming back to Goddess. Sit on down. Toes out, heels in. Making it slightly harder, take your thumb and index finger together, arms out to the side. Elbows a little bit higher than shoulders maybe here. So we added a little extra weight. Anytime you have your arms up overhead, causes your abdominal muscles to have to catch you and fire up more. Besides the fact that we're just hanging out here. It's a little difficult, but when things get tough, we breathe. Help ourselves stay calm. 4 breaths in and out. Many of my yogis closing their eyes to really enjoy it. Last 2. Last one, good. Break time, inhale, come all the way up. Toes point forward, heels pivot out, arms up. As you exhale, arms reach out to the sides. Inhale, open up even more. Big hug here for everybody, get ready. Exhale, bend your knees, start to bow your way forward. Let your head just be heavy, shake side to side. You might come into some side lunges down here. Now, if you are, you'll notice it's less strengthening and more getting into inner thighs. And if you add the side lunges in and your toes automatically turn out, then let them. If they prefer to stay facing forward, then you let them. We're not worried so much about needing to support the body here since we've got the hands down. We're just really focusing on stretching into inner thighs and hips. If you're adding these in, we will try to draw the hips back as you bend a knee. Sometimes I even take my arm back and almost sit on my arm for a little extra support. We're just going to get one more like that on each side. Good. Let's come back to the middle and just spend a few moments in stillness, folded forward. Hands can be on the floor. Some of you might reach for the outsides of your feet. One that I've really been enjoying lately is kind of a wide leg downward facing dog variation. If you'd like to give it a go, you'll walk your hands more forward. Press fingers into the floor. Even lift the heels of the hands. Just kind of pull with your fingers as the hips come back. So it's almost like a weightless downward facing dog where you can really feel that expression of length all the way through the arms, the neck, all the way into the shoulders and torso. Legs are getting a different kind of stretch here, a little extra on the inner thighs, on the outers too. One more round. And to start to come out, we'll inhale to half lift and the fingers come back up under the nose. As you exhale, we'll take the hands up onto the hips, press into your feet, and then press all the way back up to stand and rise. We'll move into triangle pose on the right side. So we'll pick up the right toes, point them towards the front. I like to use a block, so I'm just going to grab mine and put it right to the inside of my right foot. And we'll start in Warrior Two. This will help prevent kind of pinching into the hip as we make our way there. We'll begin again by reversing Warrior. Flip the front palm. As you inhale and notice this length, we want to take it with us as we come forward into extended side angle with your hand on the block or your shin if you don't have your block today. Slowly start to straighten that leg and open your body to the side of your mat at the same time. Not hyperextending the knee, keeping it bent a bit to protect it. Another round. Last breath. Option either to stay in triangle or make your way to half moon. If you're going to half moon, bring your gaze back down towards your hand. Start to push off the back leg. Slide your right hand forward, a little bit more off to the right for a wider base. Glutes rock solid. If I came and gave them a little punch, I'm going to bounce right off there. Happy toes once again. Arm reaches up. Last two. Last one. Slow ride. Take it easy. Back to warrior two. Land it. And we'll come back to down dog by flipping front palm. Inhale, sweep. Exhale, cartwheel it forward. Take your way back. Step it on back. Big breath. Let it go. Inhale, look forward, knees bend. Exhale, walk or try that hop again, feet to the hands. Inhale to halfway. Exhale, soften it down. Let's rise all the way up. Press up, nice and strong. Hands draw to heart, pelvic floor meets. Balancing on the left this time. Inhale, arms reach up. As you exhale and hands come to heart, we begin to lift the right knee with belly muscles. Pause for a moment, find your center and your strength, and then transition. Right hand to knee, left hand to hip. Pull it up, then open it up. I don't know about grabbing the toe on the side, but I'm going to give it a try. For some of you, if you want to go for it, you do what you can do. Even if you're going to fall, right? So sometimes we have to put ourselves in situations when we have a likelihood of falling, or at least a possibility. And it's okay to fall. That's how we learn. Let's take the knee forward, or foot. Hands come onto hips, or up is harder. Kick it forward. Start to find airplane, bend, open. Try to expand nice and big. Pause. If you need to land early, we're landing in crescent. Do what you can. Hands at heart center sometimes helps me find a little more stability. I need it on this side. And we will slowly land our foot back. Arms up if they are not up already. And warrior two. Let's come out. Back to our goddess position, or not goddess position, our prasarita stance, so getting ready for our forward fold. Take the arms open. We're going to interlace them behind. Roll the shoulders open. Inhale up here. Exhale, bend your knees and fold forward. So we're skipping our goddess on this side. We will be coming into Malasana instead. After our fold for a deep opening in the hips. If it's not serving your shoulders to keep your hands interlaced and reach them this way, then please take them to the ground. If this is something you would like to work towards, but you can't quite make the grip yet, using anything you have at home, a strap, a towel, a belt, to hold on to here to increase the distance in between your hands can be a really useful tool. Let's take another moment or two. And just one more. We'll start our journey towards Malasana. So let's inhale halfway, release hands to floor. And then we'll start to take the heels in and try to sit your way down. So this is going to look very different for everybody. You might be able to bring your elbows onto the inner thighs and kind of hover here. Some of us might need to create a pile of blocks for a little seat to stay, or you could be here and it's just a bit more strengthening move for you. Up to you, to what you can do here. If it starts to become too much, feel free to sit down, child's pose, whatever you need. I have a few people taking flight and crow in class, so you're welcome to do that. Anybody who's here today, go for it. If you're still here with me, we're going to add a little side stretch in here. So we'll take our left hand down towards the floor, if you can, and then sweep the other arm up to the sky and look for it. You can either keep it there or bend your elbows, try to go for half bind, reach around. Eventually you might be able to get into a half bind, taking your left hand around the knee and hooking your fingers somewhere back there. But if that yanks your shoulder out, not worth it, right? Last moment here, in whichever variation you're in. And if your hand's still behind your back, let's inhale it up to the sky, exhale it back down. We hanging in there? I know it's a long one. Let's try the other side. Staying here, maybe turning the palm, bending elbow, trying half bind. If I do full bind on this side, I might turn off my mic, so I'm gonna not do that today. Last breath in and out. Arm back up to the sky, inhale. Exhale, back to center. Oh, hands to the floor. Pick yourself up, spin the heels out. Take a forward fold, somewhere half between your normal forward fold with feet hips width and a wide forward fold. Feet a little bit closer together. Big breath in. Let it go. Good, let's inhale halfway, hands onto the earth. Exhale, hands onto hips, bend your knees. Press on up to your tall spine. We're gonna come to triangle on the left. We will probably need to widen the feet out. Pick up the left toes, pivot on the heel, open the arms. Closing out our standing series here. Let me get my block for my half moon. We'll begin with reverse warrior. Flip the left hand, keep the knee bent there. Exhale towards extended side angle with hand on block or shin. Slowly straightening to triangle. Make sure you don't hyperextend your knee. Feel the opening everywhere. Hips getting a lovely stretch, lower back, hamstrings, shoulders, neck. Remembering not to let your head be heavy. It stays in line with spine. Perhaps half moon, here we go. Push off that back foot, slide your hand forward, maybe a little off to left. The more energy you bring into the lefted leg, the lighter it gets. Picture when you're trying to lift up a little kid, they can make themselves heavy if they want to, right? Or they can wrap their cute little legs around you and give you some help. So that's what we're doing here. Last 2 breaths. One more. We'll try to take ourselves back to warrior 2 as slowly and as gracefully as possible. Bend the knee, land. Set your sights on something in front of you. And let's take our last flow to down dog. Inhale, sweep back. Exhale, cartwheel, hands down, step back, downward facing dog for a big breath in. And a long breath out. One more. All right, let's bend the knees. Inhale, get ready. Exhale, wave your plank. Take a breath in. Exhale, drop the knees and lower slowly to the floor. Let your head face right or left. Hands will be alongside you here. I want to just really relax. Allow yourself to be heavy. If your lower back would like a little love, you can bend your knees, let your feet move side to side. For some of you, this might even feel nice on your quadricep muscles, kind of just lightly rolling them into the floor. That's a signal your quads are pretty tight, by the way, if you can feel that there. And let's just turn the head the other way as we just continue to allow ourselves some peace here. And we'll get 2 more breaths in and out. We're going to come into a stretch for chest, shoulders, and hips. We're going to take the arms straight out to the side, palms down. Bend your right knee, and then roll over onto the left side. You can use your right hand to push you there. Place your foot on the floor, somewhere behind the long leg. Try to let that knee point up to the sky if you can, just opening up the hip. If this is too much for your shoulder, you could take your arm out and reach it forward and rest your head on it instead, and then it becomes all hips and takes the chest and the shoulder out of it. So if you have any shoulder injuries, anything like that that makes this feel not right for you, please skip it or change it. Let yourself discover the different sensations that you might feel. So a little bit of muscular iffiness, probably fine. Any sharp pains or joint pains, you want to back right on out. You'll take another breath here. And then we'll switch it out. So let's roll onto the belly very slowly. Other arm stretches out. Bend the left leg. Use your left hand to help roll you over. And you can let your head be on the ground. Sometimes a pillow or a block is nice under your cheek here too. Just let your eyes close. 4 more here. 3. And 2. And one last one. Let's come back onto the belly. So before we continue with our hip opening asanas that we are going to continue with, I'd like to get a little work for the back. So we'll come back to airplane. We're going to keep the arms back. Feet lengthen out, or legs lengthen out of the hips. With your feet, press to the floor, legs hip-width apart. We're going to lift arms, chest, legs, and thighs if possible. We'll take an inhale and lift everything up, gaze just naturally down. And exhale, let it come down. We'll do that twice again. Inhale, lift. And exhale, lower. And you might come up higher each time. You might not. Last one, up and down. Now let's lift and stay. Fingers wide apart, toes wide apart, shoulders roll down. That might lift the chest a bit more. You can either stay here or try to interlace hands behind you like we did, folded forward. Reach your arms actively back. Maybe chest lifts a little more for 3, 2, and 1. Inhale, release your arms. And exhale, back on down. Let your head face right or left. Breath in and out. Let's press on up onto our hands and knees here. We're going to make our way into child's pose after a few cat-cows, just your regular ones. Tops of the feet rest to the ground. We'll inhale and arch. And wiggle your butt a little there. Get out of that hips. Exhale, curl. So sometimes we like to move a little unconventionally, and that's okay. Find your own way. Let your own spirit shine, your playful self. From here, we'll start to find neutral and back to child's for a few breaths. Knees spread out, toes touch. So open and curious, we just check in, see how the hips are feeling. See if you can get your heart to be able to melt a little bit more down into the earth. We'll take 4 breaths in. And out. And 3. And 2. And 1 more. Let's come back up onto hands and knees. Curl your toes under. This is our last couple of down dogs here. Take the hips up. We're going to make our way to lizard today. Feel free to modify it, skip it if needed. Take your right leg up to the sky. I'm going to open my hip just for a moment first. Bend your knee. Try to reach your heel to the opposite shoulder. Inhale it back up again. Exhale, knee into the chest. Step to the outside of your hand. Start to drop the back knee down. So your right foot is toward the outer edge of the mat. Wherever is comfortable for you, your toes point out a little bit. Sometimes I come onto the edge of my foot. Other days that doesn't feel so good, so I always kind of check just by coming onto the edge and back a couple times. And you're welcome to stay up here. Some of you like to come down further, maybe bringing your forearms onto blocks. After several years of practice, you might be able to get your forearms onto the ground, maybe not. This is our passive lizard. For those of you that would like to make this a stronger pose, you could curl your toes and lift your knee up. So it's similar, but there's more strengthening involved here. Last breath. If any of you are inactive, let's gently come out just for a moment so we can get back up onto the hands more gently. We'll then curl the toes, lift the knee. We're all back in an active lizard on hands. Inhale, start to press up and back towards that 3-leg dog. Bend your knee, give it a little kick out there. And we'll come back to down dog. Let's just try the other side. Left leg sky high. Bend knee, open hip, stretch your foot for the opposite shoulder. Inhale, kick it back up. Exhale, knee draws in and then step out and around. Toes point a little bit out to the edges of the feet. We're towards edge of mat. Let your hip open out to its happy place. Hips still try to point a little bit down if you're making your way down onto forearms or forearms on a block. So we're all individuals, we'll all have different goals, so to speak here, right? For some of us, it might be forearms down. For some of us, it's just getting that dang foot up there, right? So we're all in different places. We just map out our own paths, our own goals, and we make our way through each day, trying to get a little closer. If you want the active lizard, curl your toes, lift your knee, something different. Last 3 breaths, however you are. Last 2. Last 1. If you're active, drop the knee down top of the foot just to come back onto the hands if you're on the forearms. Now we'll curl the toes, lift the knee once again. Leg comes up and back, 3-leg dog. Give it a little kick out, shake out. Let it be excited up there. And then we'll take it back down to the floor, maybe pedaling it out. Shifting the hips a little side to side. Coming back to stillness as you're ready. Let's get one last side stretch in here. It should feel good after that lizard. So bend your knees, drop your heels over to the left and just press. Inhale through center. When you're ready, drop the heels to the right and press. We'll come back to center as you're ready. Drop the knees and oh, here we go. We made it. Let's flip on over. Woo. Once you get onto your back, take your knees into your chest. Wrap your arms either around the shins for a hug, or just give yourself a squeeze by taking the hands onto the shins or the knees. As you rock gently side to side, you're simply coaxing your back body to make connection with the earth. Just let it soften. Sometimes I like to circle the knees. Some days I take a hand onto each one, circle them away from each other and back in. Maybe that feels good for you today. Other days I like to take the knees together and circle them around. I like the knees together option because it's got a little core strengthened with it, and it also gives my lower back kind of a lovely little massage on the ground. So I was going to circle the opposite way if you're still circling there. And we'll come into a final back bend, feet come to the floor, hands right alongside you on the earth. Before we lift up to our full bridge, I'd like to just play with the pelvic tilt part to loosen up the lower back. So with your spine just neutral, just however it is, I'd like you to inhale and not come to bridge, but go the other way. So inhale, tilt your pelvis away from you so that your lower back or mid back pops up off the ground. And then as you exhale, curl the opposite way, press your back into the mat. Inhale, tilt it away. Exhale, curl it towards you. So it's a little massage for the very lowest spine. Do one more. Curl it towards you. This next time we'll come all the way up. Let's begin by tilting away. As you exhale, tilt it towards you. Press to your feet. Lift all the way up this time. We're going to stay up there. If you want to come up a little higher, you might dip the hips down a little first. Squeeze the belly muscles in. Use your strong glutes and hamstrings to lift yourself up again. See if you got a little more open. We want to feel an opening not only through the back, but in the front of the hips. So picture this, it's the opposite of sitting, right? So we're stretching out through the front body. Back body's working hard to hold us here. You might walk your shoulders a little closer to each other under you, but try not to walk them further away. Keep the meatier, stronger part of your shoulders underneath to support your body rather than relying on the vertebra of the spine. Take another 3. Another 2. One more full round here. Inhale, come up high enough to get the shoulders out. And then exhale, one vertebra at a time back down until the hips land. Once we land, we come into my very favorite spinal traction hack. Take your hands to the tops of the thighs. Heels of the hands right into the creases of hips. Thumbs press around the inner thighs, pinkies on the outside. Take a breath in. Exhale, start to press gently away. So we want to gently feel that space start to happen in the low spine. Only press enough, not overdoing it. Last 3. Last 2. And last 1. Good. Let's keep the left foot down and take your right foot up towards the sky and see if you can reach for the outside. So kind of like a half happy baby. Let's hold with both hands onto that foot. Try to press the knee into the shoulder. You can either stay right here or try to lengthen the other leg down your mat. Now we look like our little lizard is flipped upside down, right? So here we are, upside down lizard, sunning our bellies. We're trying to keep the hip of the extended leg down. If it's too intense or it's bothering your lower back in any way, just bend your knee, put your foot back on the ground. We're then going to open this out to the side, so we'll just hold on with the right hand. Left hand can come down to the floor to help steady your body. And start to let that leg open. Now maybe the knee straightens out a little bit. So it's similar to how we were balancing here. Last 3. Last 2. Last 1. Let's inhale, take that leg back up to the sky, bend the knee towards wind relieving pose, interlace fingers on your shin. Squeeze the right knee up into the chest. Let's all straighten the other leg super long if it's not long already. And we'll move into a twist. Right arm out to the side, left hand on the right knee. Start to let your knee come over and across and just breathe. Long, slow inhales. And exhales. Let's take another 4. 3. 2. And 1. All right, very gently unwind. And we'll try the other side. So we'll start with both feet on the ground. Left leg comes up for a little half happy baby. Grab the outside of your foot. Maybe you grab with both hands and try to pull it down. You can either stay there or start to extend. Opposite leg down here. Giving a little pull. Few breaths. And just one more in your upside down lizard pose. And we'll take the right hand out to the right, just holding on with the left. And we can start to open that leg out to the side. Now you could keep the knees straight or you could bend it. Other leg can be long, or you could keep it bent. And if it's bent, you can let your bent knee open out to the opposite side, just so that you don't feel like you're going to roll over here. Two more. One more. Good, let's come back to center, bend your knee, interlace fingers on shin. Wind removing pose, squeeze the left knee in and up. And when you're ready, we'll twist. Left hand to left, right hand guides knee over. Closed eyes might turn to face left here. Long breath in. And out. Deep inhales and exhales. Still trying to breathe into the belly, all the way up into the upper rib cage. And back out again. Final one. Gently unwind. Give yourself a moment to follow your deepest intuition of any other final intuitive movement, any other asana you would like to practice. It doesn't have to be any particular yoga pose. It might just be a hug and a squeeze. It might be something you just make up on the spot. Anything that feels right in your body today to help you feel complete and ready to be able to rest peacefully in your shavasana to follow. Give yourself as much time as you need. And then following your own path in your own time. When you're ready to find your final resting place, you'll make your way there. You can bring your feet to the floor as you're ready with the knees bent and the feet slightly wider than hips width. That will allow your knees to knock in. This is a very gentle way to hold your body to protect the lower back from strain. Palms will face the sky to open the heart. If it feels good for you to straighten both legs out down your mat, then you can go there too. Maybe trying to evenly lengthen both legs. Many of us are a little longer on one side, so maybe we can try to tune into that and maybe try to correct it, at least mentally here. We'll start with a lovely 3-part breath to help lull ourselves into a deep state of relaxation. Inhaling down into your belly, slowly moving on up through the rib cage until you feel your upper chest just fill. And we'll slowly release in the opposite direction, and the belly will empty out last. Inhale in one fluid breath from the low belly, slowly on up to fill your heart. And then slow release. Maybe 2 or 3 more. This is a breath that you can take with you anytime. It helps you bring yourself down several notches. It's one that you can do if you're having trouble sleeping. Not only does it help activate the parasympathetic nervous system, the rest and digest system of the body, but on a physical level, it helps increase the capacity of the lungs, which can be very helpful, right? Last 3 or so. Maybe you've already let go of them. Taking just a few more. After a while, you might just let them float off into the distance as you just let yourself stay in the same state of joy and bliss with no effort whatsoever. Simply existing here. There is no other place to be than the here and now. Simply observing thoughts, feelings without attachment. And sometimes a slight sense of panic or fretfulness might start to set in when you try to stay still, particularly if there is no sound around you. But we simply notice these things and try to let them be, enjoying that comfortable silence that you can have with your best friend, with yourself. Giving yourself full permission to stay in this position for the remainder of class. Or if you would like to end your class seated for your final Om, you will start to make the gentlest, smallest movements to reawaken. It might start with fingers, toes, wrists, ankles. It might start to become the head rocking side to side. anything really. Maybe stretching your arms back long. Knees might eventually come into the chest for one last moment here. A big hug for yourself. If you're coming to seated, let's rock off to the side. Feel free not to. Either sitting with legs crossed, folded back, on or off a block. We'll all take our hands back over the heart. So whether we're lying down or seated, right hand over heart, left hand over right. Slight tuck to the chin if you're seated here. Taking a moment to meet the new you. We'll close with the sound of Om, big in-breath to prepare. And release. And inhale for your Om. Wow. Let's take our hands now to prayer. Up at the third eye, thumb knuckles press against the forehead. I thank you all from the bottom of my heart for being here with me this morning and allowing me to guide your practice. The love and the light within me sees love and light within all of you. Let it shine, don't be shy. Namaste. Thank you all, Grens, for your presence. Thank you, everybody out there online. Have a great day.